I was busy getting bamboo shoots shoved up my fingernails. Sorry, I couldn't make it.
What's up, guys? Thanks for hanging out with us today. We got a packed house. We got Dunn over here, as usual.
What up?
And then we got Kellen and Zach from Dream Media. What's up, fellas?
What's going on?
And Zach, I think your mic is now dead.
Get your shit
It was
together.
working like a second ago, right? It was working a second ago. So we had had Jordan on here. Had Jordan on here on Tuesday. We talked about his his experience over at Cedia, which I know you guys went to as well. And one thing that he didn't go check out was the Trinov room. But you guys, I do think you guys went and checked it out. What was like your experience with the new waveforming, and how was that? How did it perform with 24 subs? Is it like worth the Trinov price of admission? Was it a game changer? What was it like?
Being honest, I didn't have time to check it out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we
Time
checked
was
out
crazy long.
a Trinov room. What was the speaker manufacturer in there, Kellen? They were showing off the
Ascendo.
No, we didn't do the Ascendo one. We did the Alcon.
Yeah, we did the Alcon Theater, and they had the Trinov system in there, but we didn't get the experience of hearing it on and off like they had in the Ascendo room. The line was out the door, and we were just slammed with appointments, so didn't get a chance to get in there, unfortunately.
Heard good things. Heard where they were at was kind of at the entrance and egress of the event, so the noise floor was pretty loud. And some of the demo stuff, like they played a clip from Quiet Place, so like obviously it's silent, and then you could hear all the hustling and bustling outside the room. That was the only from a buddy that I trust. He said it did sound very good, but one of the demo selections, content wise, probably wasn't the greatest, just because the event was so loud around them. You can only do so much with a temporary.
I think I recorded like 94, 95 dBs ambient because I'm a nerd.
Wow.
I was like loud in here. It got some places were pretty loud.
Yeah,
I heard it.
Yeah, what was it like?
Technically perfect. But I mean, it was awesome. Personally, I would have liked to have more bass output, especially with the amount. And I know they could have turned it up and concaved my chest, but it was amazing. It was a great, beautiful picture, great sound. The room was beautiful for a demo room at Cedia. They spent a lot of money on that.
Yeah, they got a good acoustic company that does the interiors look
really
the
nice. Italian company. Yeah, they're amazing. So no, it was really cool. Great room.
So they had the 24 subwoofers in there, right? Was it like super crazy? But
no, I mean, it was just the bass was just natural and just there. But I'm a bass head, so I'm skewed. Most people would have just thought it was perfect, but I would have liked to have a little more. Like, I know they could have concave my chest in if they wanted to, rang my bell. But no, it was great. I have nothing negative to say about it. And that whole group of people are just great.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. Well, you guys heard the Alcon's room. Did you hear it when they turn the thing on and off, the waveforming on and off? Like, was there a big difference between?
They didn't do. They just had it on, and they didn't do like a demo. Here's what it sounds like with it off. Here's what it sounds like with it on.
I didn't hear that either.
They didn't do an A/B.
That's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, bummer. Because I thought I saw another video where it was like they turned it on and off. Well,
they might have done it for the press folks on Wednesday, but
interesting. Well, hope that update comes out soon. I know John's gonna come on, I think, the channel next week, and he's gonna talk about like speaker layout or sub layout. I know all that because I think I had him on a few months ago, and then he was just like, you got to have subs on your wall and on the floor. But then I guess now it's a little bit more relaxed. Like you can have just floor subs or something like that.
I think one of the orientations was, I think you have to have a 3 sub minimum, 2 up front, 1 in the back, but I think the back one did have to be raised off the floor a little bit, but I'm sure he'll get into the weeds. He probably knows it better than anybody else. So.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
No, that room sounded amazing. It was just perfect pictures, except for the base head, but that's okay.
I wonder how that ties. Well, I think Matt was telling me how it ties in with the infra subs. Like below a certain point, the cancellation doesn't affect the infrasonics. So, yeah, John will definitely get into that more. And obviously, you guys sell Trinov, right? Dream Media.
Yeah,
we do.
So do we.
Personally, my favorite.
Do you guys sell Storm or no?
We are set up to sell Storm now, so that is
really?
a new thing for us.
Oh, cool.
We brought on a few new brands during the Cedia time period, so looking forward to announcing those and getting some stuff rolling.
Did you guys hear the direct art there, or like was there a room set up for that?
The Grimani poses room was they were running Storm through Dante.
There's just a few surround setups there. It's not like you would think.
Did you think that sounded better than the Trinov room?
I didn't get to hear.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Well, Don, did you hear it?
Yeah, we had.
I did.
An hour and a half between 2 days to do something that we wanted to do, and that was also checking out new possible vendors. Outside of the appointments, we had like an hour, and so we opted to eat lunch on those days and then try to check out something new. But
eat lunch.
Yeah, we were busy. We were just in back-to-back appointments. Like Kellen said, we had an hour and a half to do what we wanted, but we wanted to check out some very specific products to kind of fill gaps in our lineup. So it was a work event for us.
Right. Well, I guess this question would be pertaining to you guys. We're getting close to the direct or exclusivity for Storm ending on October 1st. So maybe it'll come to the Denon A1H, possibly. Any newer info on potential new products or product updates coming for that from you guys?
I would have to check. I know, because I don't even is base management even out yet for Direct Live on the Denon and Marantz? I don't even think so. So if they push art before that, I doubt it, but I mean possibly. I could see it coming to the A1H before maybe the cinema with Marantz. I don't know. I mean that would probably be a good question to ask them directly. But
by the way, to go back, Shane,
I haven't heard anything.
The room that Matt posted sounded amazing.
So with that room, it runs all the speakers full range as like full range. Am I correct on that? And it takes the bass from each.
It's digital, so it goes from the pre-pro out to a switch, then to the amplifiers.
Yep.
And then the amplifiers are wired to passive speakers without crossovers, so it's really active. It was great. I think they had 6 or 8 13.5-inch subs and 221s. The first round I heard it, the bass was turned way down, and didn't blow me away. But the second time I went, somebody turned the bass up on it, and it was awesome. I can't pick between the two; they were both great. I mean, I know one was a lot more expensive.
Didn't they win the show award for the best sound room?
What, Grimani's?
Yeah.
I don't know. I know he won an award for one of his speakers.
Okay, maybe.
Like a manufacturer award, which is really cool. No, they both sounded great. I mean, at that level, of course, anything Matt Pose calibrates is world class. It really is.
Well, it's like you're saying, Don, at this level, they all sound amazing. It just comes down to your personal preference and how you're tuning it to your liking.
And the room was smaller too. It was substantially smaller. So, I mean, listen, that Trinov room was amazing. There's nothing bad anybody could say about it. But I mean, that was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go in you know, with some music later and put on some booty shake, crank them subs up, but wasn't in the cards. So
Yeah, they didn't let you guys hang out after the after hours or anything.
well, we stayed till the end of the show when they were packing up and was hanging out with Grimani and Seymour and several people. Just everybody. Todd from Row One, who's a great, super good dude. It was cool. We had to. I was so tired. I mean, literally. Thank God for Zach's foot massager. It recovered me, dude. That's the greatest invention ever. So, and let me tell you, everybody out there, never drink with Zach. That guy will kill you. He'll put you under the table.
Right. Okay. All right, Don.
Was there any products you see you guys carrying in the future that was interesting?
Yeah. I mean, one being the Ava remote. We'll definitely get that in your hands, Shane.
Yeah.
That's some cool stuff.
That'll be very interesting.
John's been telling me about that for like the past 2 days.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't quite hit the mark last year. We were excited about it, but they gave us exactly what we told them it was missing year one. So it's pretty cool.
Did you? So was it at the show?
Yeah.
So I saw the first version, which looked like just a phone, and it would just run apps on it. Is the second one like that, or is it just?
It will run the apps natively as well as their own. So the guy, Raphael, he used to be into these big systems. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He comes from those big systems. So started Ava. 2 years ago, they came out with the Ava remote. Like you said, it was just a Google Android interface, could run apps. That's about it. This new one, it can do native apps, but it'll also run their own Ava OS. And so in Ava OS, it'll create its own flows. I forgot how many products he said it'll support out of the gate. I think he said it was like 15,000 devices or something like that natively supporting. But then in that, you're going to be able to create your own flows. So like if you tell it you have let's just go through a whole theater room basic. You have a TV. You tell it what brand you have, what model you have, and then it'll say, do you also have a receiver? You say yes or no. If you say yes, you pick the model of the receiver. And then it'll be like, what is plugged into source one? Apple TV. You kind of create your own flow, and then
you bind the connections to everything. Then it does all the macros and the programming built into it.
Basically, yeah. So you do, and you can create delays. So if you have instances where something turns something on, but it also turns something off in the meantime, you can create delays to help that flow. It looks.
I'm gonna make a video on it, guys.
Yeah,
we ordered them for our own personal homes, and we'll send one to you, Shane, too, so you can check it out. But
yeah, it looks super cool.
I think it's actually really going to be our Harmony replacement. I mean, we've been looking for one for years and used to just sell loads and loads of Harmony, the 2400, but it looks to be even more intuitive than that. And it has the hub, so we can even control IR devices. That was the big problem before, is it was only IP native control. So they got the hard buttons. I feel like that's pretty important too. It's kind of like that Apple TV feel to it, but you can still press. It's nice for when you're in the dark. You don't always want to look down at a touch screen, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still touch screen, but it's got tactile response, so it's clickable. And then all those buttons are dynamic. So if you go to Apple TV, there'll be buttons. You can tell what buttons. It'll automatically pick probably the most popular ones, and then you can switch them, change them. So like to their point, if you play Roku, there's no need for an eject button to show up on there, but there is an eject button on the Roku remote. So it's kind of smart in that it'll pull information from what you're kind of looking at. And it pulls the colors too as an accent. So if you start up Spotify, the circle turns green until you pick a song, then it pulls color from the album. So it's really dynamic in that aspect. Same thing with Kaleidoscape. You pick a movie, it shows the cover art of the movie,
Oh,
and
really?
then it'll show like the scrub bar of where it's at in the movie time wise, and then the bottom dynamic will pull from a color of the movie artwork. The buttons will change to like volume up and down, play, pause, skip forward. It's really cool.
Kellen, what's the price on that?
So the remote, it's a little pricey, but it's all in one. But the remote is $12.99 retail.
You need the hub. You'll probably need the hub too if you have any IR devices. So it's, what is it, 1600 with the hub?
The Nano Brain hub is $299. So
well,
it's not cheap, but I'm telling you right now, like they're pissing some people off in the industry because it's groundbreaking stuff. I couldn't wait to get my hands on it. I literally was like, we need one right now.
That's not any more than if you did a basic Control4 system with like a Core 1 or remote, and especially if you got one of their better remotes and the programming and setup. If that was just going to be a basic room or small house system, I don't think this is the right product for a big estate.
I'm not talking about like this project that me and you are working on. I'm talking about
no, for sure. But I'm saying for the DIY crowd,
for our DIY crowd,
the price is really not bad because when you buy this and you can program it yourself, you don't have to pay labor. It is kind of groundbreaking, and it's kind of filling a niche that really has been evacuated when the Harmony Pro went away.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be something that if someone doesn't feel comfortable setting it up, we can definitely help them with that. FaceTime and set it up.
Free programming, right, Kellen, for all remotes?
But this is like user programmable, correct?
It's supposed to be really easy.
Like
he
super
showed us
simple, like Sonos level setup.
Right.
Is the way it looked. You plug it in, you tell it what it is, it automatically puts it into the chain of commands of how it would be programmed into like a big system type of thing.
It's pretty cool.
And earlier, Don, I wasn't hinting that this is a competitor for large.
No, not at all. But I'm just
saying, you know how we have two segments to our business, the Dream Media Plus and this e-commerce. For e-commerce, I mean, this thing is hot.
My quote was directed at the price because Kellen said it was pricey. But my point is to get something that's going to approach these capabilities with Savant, Control4, or Elan. You got to buy processors. You got to buy this, and you can program it.
Well,
so if you got a bigger home, it's a no-brainer. But for most of what you sell to, most people need. This is a great product. Again, fills that niche in that spot.
Well, Rolf did tell me that whenever he was helping with the Crestron job, I should say, they did a $6.4 million system or something with Crestron, and he was like, "There's nothing that we did on that Crestron job that Ava couldn't do."
Really? That's a bold statement.
Yeah, so I'm going to try it on my little 4,000
contact closures. Yeah, I can't buy into that, dude. Unless
I got a couple though for the house, so I'm going to try it out and really test its abilities and make a bunch of video for all of our subscribers. And I don't know, the sales pitch and what we saw at the booth was like, oh my God, we've been eating this. Thank you.
Is there an IR on the remote itself?
Yeah.
Oh, there. Okay.
And their blaster, he was talking about how strong it is. Like, I don't want to speak out of I don't know the technical aspects, but he said it's like twice as strong as the Harmony Hub was. Has a blaster, and then they have individual outputs as well with USB-C to IR to control any devices that they can't control over the IP network.
Nice.
And then you can set up webhooks to recall those webhooks if you're familiar with webhooks. It's like basically you can set up third-party commands through webhooks, and then you can call those webhooks into your Ava flows as well.
No.
So kind of similar to what you're doing, Shane, with that room control.
Yeah.
Rooming. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting.
So is there like an external app to program that, or a web interface or something?
It's all built
All
into
on
the.
there?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's what's so intriguing.
Yeah,
Very
it's just
interesting.
the
Because
remote.
even with the Harmony, we had to use an application to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, like an external app. Yep. Yeah, I remember that. And that looks like almost kind of like a Magic Mouse touchpad almost, right? Like it's clickable?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's clickable. It has feedback. So whenever you're scrolling like around the circle, it'll kind of like vibrate, things like that. Whenever you select on the wheel a certain quadrant of that square, it'll kind
Is
of
that raised, or is that just a graphic?
yeah, it's raised.
Okay. Oh, that's cool.
So the glass is raised on that little portion of it.
Nice.
Yeah,
And
and it looks great.
yeah, I would assume this is like an aluminum remote, not plastic.
Yeah, it's aluminum. Yep. Because the processor and everything in that remote is going to be just as much power as some of the like hosts that you see with some of the other automation systems. So the aluminum helps kind of cool as well with thermals and stuff. Kind of like an iPhone, the glass and the metals are kind of more conducive to
Right.
they
Yeah,
expel
keep it
the
cool.
yeah.
Nice. When is this releasing?
First week of October is what we're hearing. So as soon as we get them in, we'll.
Very cool.
Yeah. Shit, this is gonna fill a big niche for sure.
I'm pretty excited. I got a couple for the house, and I'll make detailed videos for you guys, letting you know if it's the real deal. We were excited about Ava last year, but it kind of missed the mark. And literally, they hit every single one of our requests this year. It's on point. We're really excited about it.
Do you think it's going to be a replacement for Savant, which I only use in my theater?
I think it could replace Savant in a sole theater. There's going to be a time and place, like Don said. There's going to be a time and place for Control4, Savant. Those companies really aren't going to go anywhere. Yeah. This is just going to be another solid option. Hopefully,
who programmed your Savant?
That's true. Yeah.
I mean, who programmed it, Shane? Your Savant?
I don't have Savant.
I thought you said you had Savant.
No, this guy's got a question. He's got Savant. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was going to say I didn't know you had it. I mean, Savant.
Kellen has Savant in his theater, so he'll be able to make a video for you guys, letting you know the pros and cons.
I had Savant. I've got Control4 now. I'll have Ava in a little bit. So
you got everything on Manco One. Money, power, and 3 control systems. You're the best.
And I guess yes, it is confirmed. It is DIY, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, who knows what that'll grow into?
Yeah. Hopefully something good. Because I think the next thing after Harmony was that Sofa Baton remote.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, I didn't hear good things about every other remote. There were a few that reached out to us, and it just, Harmony was the last one that really was a solid option.
And they had a huge company behind them. My experiences is remotes and control systems and whiz bangs kind of come and go. They have to deliver. This is the most promising looking system that's been out in a while, short of the big names out there. So this is exciting. I'd be leery of buying a brand new product like that because they do come and go.
Yeah. Well, it's the second gen though, so hopefully they stick around. Yeah.
It's been around. Check it out.
Yeah, I think this is like their 3rd year technically.
Oh, is it 3rd?
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, hey, Don, here's a question for you. Pull it up, Shane. Brian. Would you rather use Emotiva amps or Rotel, Don?
Hands down, without a question, Rotel. All day long. Because they won't break. And if they do, they'll fix it. So I've got a job right now. We did. Client bought his own Emotiva amp. Blew up. Replaced it. Another one blew up. And Emotiva is saying it's because it's plugged into a Furman, which I do hella systems with much more expensive, much more powerful amps hooked into Furmans without issue. So I don't know what's going on there. but I've got no love for Emotiva. And I've had Rotel several amps and processors and whatnot over the years, and they've always been solid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've never had one of their amps break down on me, but obviously you see more than I have. But the Rotel and the Emotiva that I've had, I would say that the Rotel, to my ears, did sound a little bit more, a little warmer, a little bit more mid-range, heavier. I think the Emotiva was a little thinner sounding, albeit maybe more neutral sounding. But I think the warmth on the Rotel gave it a little bit more character, depending on what you want from your speakers. But Don's looking at it at a different angle than I am.
I mean,
you want to spend your money wisely. I mean, company's not going to have your back. It's not a good look.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of people that are fanboys and like the product. I'm just not a fan of it.
Cool looking amps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We saw Michi and
Michi.
Rotel. We've had pretty good.
Yeah, Michi killers.
Yeah.
A lot of what we deal with Dream Media and Haven Smart is just a lot of reliability. If we can count on the thing to last, that means a lot.
Well, that's the 800-pound gorilla. Nobody ever talks about robust and reliability and track records and customer service. When you're making an investment of that size, $2,000, $1,500, that's a lot of money to most people. It is to me. I would absolutely want to make sure that the product that I get, that's why for years we never used high-end processors from Mark Levinson, Krell, some of the, Carver, some of their names, because a lot of these things were just not reliable. They were quirky. And I was talking to Yamaha about a year and a half ago, and they were talking about the chipsets. Most of them use the same chipsets, but the Yamaha is always substantially less expensive. And the guy from Yamaha said, because we buy 30,000 of them at a time, where a smaller company might buy 300 of them at the most. So there's savings there, and they've got assembly lines and whatnot. It's only recently that I put more faith into esoteric surround processors, like audio control as an example. I know Arcam is a very good Anthem. So reliability is key, because when a customer spends 100 to 300, 500, $1 million with us, they expect the stuff to last and work. And that nobody ever talks about that. And how many times have you ever seen an audio company talk about how reliable their product is?
It's important.
Yes, it is. Well, I guess they have made their decision for you, Brian. I guess
I'm just keeping it real, man. Sorry.
Yeah.
Question: did you guys check out the new Procella AVR when you guys were at Cedia?
I did not.
Saw it. Looks like a
Trenoff.
It does
look like a Trenoff.
Set up right. It looks like a spitting image.
Yeah. It looks exactly like a Trenoff.
Yeah. Let me bring that up here.
Yeah, I was intrigued when I walked by, because the casing looked like a Trenoff, and I was like, "Huh, it's interesting," but I didn't have time to check it out.
What is that? Because I remember I had asked to get a sample when it first got announced, but I guess it's not really in production yet, from what I'm told. Because I did review their speakers a couple months back. I reviewed their speakers.
Yeah.
Before I got the Ascendos, and this is one of those speakers that definitely has a cinema-esque sound to it. I feel like there's hi-fi sound, and I feel like there's a cinema sound. I think Procella has definitely that kind of cinema sound.
I think that's their market, though. I mean, they're high output, high dynamic, flexibility of installation, ugly, not designed to be seen as a rule.
All right, so you guys did not see that. Although I will try to get some of their subs in, because I still have the new Mark II
This show is so big. There's so many people there, and there's lines around the corner when they're doing demos. I mean, it was, it was grueling. It was a lot of work, but we got to see quite a bit. Now, of course, I was looking at a lot of automation and, shade and lighting control and, linear lighting, stuff that pertains to our business. So lighting, there's a lot of lighting there.
So is it expensive to program Savant?
Not like Crestron. It's a much easier product to program. It just depends on the dealer, but if you're doing a one-room system, that would probably be a really easy, simple. Crestron's going to be pricier all day long. It's much more involved. I mean, you can kind of do a little bit more, but it ain't nothing cheap about Crestron. Nothing. Never has been, never will be.
Was there anything else that was interesting that you guys saw that you're going to carry, possibly?
We are gonna start carrying a company called K-Array.
Are you?
Did you go into that booth?
Huh? Yeah, dude. The K-Ray rep's one of my best buds. I've had K-Ray at my house.
Did you see those little
speakers with the sub?
lizard?
Tiny
did
one.
You see the 0.8?
Yeah, I had them all at my house, dude. He brought the whole kit and hooked it up, and it's
for a small to medium sized room. That stuff rocks.
Yeah, it's dope. And did you see the K-Array speaker that's flexible? You can like wrap
Yes,
it around the post.
that is really cool.
Yeah, the K-Arrays and the light fixtures. And K-Array's the bomb. They do a lot of commercial concerts, restaurants, a lot of restaurants, nightclubs, venues like that. So they've got some really cool. A lot those little tornadoes. Is that what it is? Tornado? Those things that were up in the corner. Did you hear those?
Yeah. So those, and then the KZ1, I think.
Yeah, the ones that are about that tall.
They're no. They're 0.8 inch by 0.8 inch.
Oh, the teeny tiny ones. Yeah,
it was
play like 94 dBs or some crazy.
Yeah, ridiculous. It was awesome.
So you need a wrap speaker around something, dude. How cool is that?
Yeah, that's really, really cool stuff.
And like I said, I think a lot of this stuff's for like retail or environments where you want to hide sound and do sound reinforcement in a space.
Distribute audio. I mean, you can't get much smaller than 1 inch by 1 inch.
Yeah.
They have the.
Never
mind. And they have the little pre-construction things where you can recess that speaker flush with the drywall. Yeah, I mean, literally.
Cool. Yeah, K-Ray and their Italian company.
Solid.
Interesting. Was it like a vibrating membrane or something?
I didn't get to listen to the technology of it. It was like 5 after 5. He was closing down, and I was like, my rep told me I had to come by. I had to hear the small speakers, and he was like, okay, I'll play a little bit of a song, because if I keep playing, he goes, people will start rushing in here again. And I heard all I needed to hear. It was crazy.
Yeah, it was. These tiny speakers were kicking out.
Yeah, the lizard. Yeah, right
this
there.
One?
The lizard.
Is this pro stuff or is it home stuff?
What we do is, Cedia is a custom electronic convention. We get to go and check out, 100 different, very specific products, just so that we have it at the back of our mind in case the application presents itself.
Oh, I didn't know these were tiny like that.
Oh, they're like that big, bro.
I thought it was like a full speaker.
You see that, right? It's crazy. Yeah. Tiny.
What?
Yeah, the KZ1 right there, 2.2 centimeters wide. I mean, that's nuts.
Wow. Yeah. Obviously, this would need like a subwoofer.
I like the one that's about that tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1.5 feet. That thing with the sub was just insane. See, they do a lot of retail and discreet. I mean, that's a speaker, dude, on a wall. I mean, that's.
Do you remember the old Sony speakers that looked very similar to that? It used to come in a home theater package. It was about that size. You remember that?
I don't remember.
I've never been a bottom feeder. Sorry. No, I don't. I'm kidding.
Somebody in the chat's got to remember that little Sony thing. I had one when I used to work at Circuit City. They were like this big.
New magnetic grill.
Oh, interesting.
And they come in like gold or black or blue or crazy different colors you can get them
in.
Yeah.
They are
very cool company.
Very cool. Yeah.
Another cool thing we saw that's more affordable. Seems like all we talk about is crazy expensive stuff on here. The Epson LS 800, they came out with a ceiling mount that was allows you to mount it to the wall right above the screen. People have asked in our comments all the time about that application, since I have it, here in my room, the kids' playroom. So,
the short throw, you can.
Yeah, they made a mount for it and had it on display there. I'm gonna a video is going to come out on our channel about
Yeah,
it. But
can you look that up, Shane? I'm going to check that. I didn't see that.
we haven't put out the video yet. But
well, they got a website, don't they?
This is the website. I don't see it.
Well, that's Epson's, isn't it? Or
they were just announcing it. They showed it on display, and I got some content with it. And they just had it with a standard white screen, a screen innovation.
Mount to the wall above so you can have a center channel or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to do
what's it look like?
It looked good.
It looks the same. You just can't use a ambient light rejecting screen with it.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Well, yeah, no, you could use white screen and a gray screen though, and you could
flip it upside down.
Yeah, it just mounts like right above the screen, firing down on it. Obviously, you can't use an ambient light rejecting screen, or it would be, rejecting out the light.
Why not? Because you're at the same angle from the top as you are from the bottom. What?
Yeah, but when you turn that screen upside down, now it's capturing all of your lights that are coming down from that same angle.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Well,
and then if
you
you
use a regular screen.
If you use like a slate or something, it's going to have that like really bad sparkle.
How big can you go? 120 is the biggest I've ever seen on the short throws.
Epson says 130, 133. The AWOL Vision, they do or advertise 150.
Samsung advertised for 150.
We did a 133 that's on our channel. We did a 133 inch with a Samsung LSP9 like a year ago, mounted to the ceiling, actually broadcasting onto it. It was a room that had lower ceilings, and it looked good. And we used the Screen Innovations pure gray 0.85 gain, and it actually added a little contrast and looked really good. They had it on just the standard white Screen Innovations screen at Cedia, and it looked pretty decent. I mean, all of these ultra short throws are a compromise, but they're also pretty affordable. They're cool for certain situations, that's for sure.
Well, I want to do a bigger screen in my main room. It was, I'm in a rental house, so I didn't want to have to retro a bunch of stuff back to the back wall. So that might be a cool option. They needed to come out with a product like that so you can get it up above it.
Yeah.
AWOL does 150. You guys started carrying that too, right?
Yep.
Yeah, AWOL.
AWOL, Hisense, pick those up too.
Which one's the best?
Did you see the AWOL 3000 Pro? So really the only difference between the Pro model and the existing 3000, it has a little bit better processor in it. It's going to be able to be IP controlled through drivers with Crestron, Savant, Control4, other control systems like that. And then because it has that extra processing power, they were able to push out a Dolby Vision firmware update that I forgot the exact number, but bumps up the contrast ratio of the AWOL. But then they did get the Dolby Vision certification. So it's really, they're going to do away with the 3000. But yeah, that's kind of really the only differences between the 3000 Pro and the 3000. Same projector, just a little bit better processing. And you're going to get a little more contrast ratio and be able to control it with automation systems.
Did they have a Dolby Vision demo there?
They did have one on the Vanish TV. They have like this little cabinet where the screen will come up out of it and the projector kind of scoots out in a drawer. They were running some Dolby Vision content on that. And then on the 150 beside it, they were running Avatar in 3D.
Oh, nice.
Tell you what I saw that was cool was that Hisense 100-inch LED TV for $5,000. It looked really
very good for $5,000. Yeah.
It looked real damn good.
We made a video on that. It looked so good.
Are you sure it's $5,000? Everything else?
Yeah. $5,000. Triple checked.
Huh.
Yeah.
$5,000. Cool. The Sony's come down to 8, I think.
We onboarded Hisense as a dealer, so we have that as an option now too. But we've literally checked out every ultra short throw on the market. Were you talking about the Samsung booth, Dunn?
What do you mean?
Their 110-inch?
No. Sony's, I think, have dropped down to $8,000. I heard for their 98.
For the 90L.
Yeah, for.
So you guys are going to be carrying headsets, huh? The TVs, the tellies.
TVs will be questionable.
Yeah, it'll depend
Probably
on the territory.
Dallas market, maybe not national.
Well, before Shane jumps in, I'd like to just volunteer to review that 100-inch for you.
I couldn't get it upstairs anyways.
They're sending us their ultra short throws, but not the 100-inch.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
They are too hard to set up, and they're huge. They're probably going to get broken on the way. That's why we don't want to sell them nationwide either. We'll like hand deliver them in the Texas market, but we don't want them to get broke on the way.
Or Colorado.
Yeah, maybe Colorado. Somewhere where the guys are there to check it, plug it in, and make sure it works.
Right.
Wow, 100 inches.
We have a lot of TVs that come in that are broke.
And you guys checked out the Perlison in-wall stuff? In-ceiling stuff, rather?
Yeah, got to hold them.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We got to hold it and play with it. It wasn't hooked up, but yeah, it's pretty slick.
Yeah, they look pretty badass.
Apparently, I'm going to get 6 for my living room downstairs with a D215, which is going to be epic. I can't wait. I'll make videos for you guys, but we're itching. They've been teasing these speakers forever, and it sucked to just, I mean, it was cool to hold it and check it out, but they still didn't have it hooked up.
It's a great Atmos option, too.
Yeah. They look beefy. Super beefy.
It's legit.
What did we see at this show? You heard the LE. Did you hear the LE versus the regular standard R7? Like, what was your takeaways on that?
A lot more, I'd say, punch and texture in the mid-range, and noticeably more bass. Not overwhelming, but a lot of it could have been due to the room too. There might have been a lot more bass, but there's a concrete floor kind of penthouse that we heard it in. But yeah, just noticeably more bass, more texture in the mid-range, and I mean, they just look sexy as all get out.
You got the regular R7s, right, Kellen?
I don't have a Perlison speaker to my name, unfortunately.
No, but Gene was there, and he has the
Yeah.
normal ones, and he sat down and straight up thought there was a subwoofer hooked up and had to go around the room looking for it. So it was that noticeable.
They were badass.
They sounded really amazing.
Yeah, they reached the dance, Don dance and approval on them. So it
was a terrible room too.
Oh yeah, room was terrible, but yeah, they're killer speakers. Man.
They sounded amazing, and that room was
carbon fiber. Look, Princess Leia's there with them.
Speaking of speakers that sound like they have subwoofers, I just got these in, which I know I've brought up several times before, but me and Don heard this recently at a place, and I'll tell you what, man, these things are so awesome, and they're only $2,000 a pair. Or sorry, each.
Yeah, they were like defied physics.
Yeah,
they're teeny tiny little towers, and them things hammer.
They're so good, man.
A lot of people don't know about Elac. It's one of our brands that we don't give a whole lot of love to either, but they're performers.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So these were all designed in house.
Yep, in Germany. These ones are in Germany.
Yeah, your father done.
So these are not the Andrew Jones ones, but the German.
No, their engineer, their head engineer now or whatever did it. So
yeah,
but yeah, they were super impressive. Were they $4,000 a pair?
Yeah, $4,000, $2,000 each. Come in gloss white or black.
Good company, good people involved. I mean, it's a great, and they're built really well.
Yeah, they're very they're short. I mean, the tweeter is about, I think, like 33 inches maybe off from the floor. So it's at least for me, right at ear height. If you're taller, like 6 foot or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if Shane was a speaker, that'd be it. Short, but very good.
Yeah. But yeah, these things sound like they've got subwoofers. I mean, at the hotel we heard them at, they did, and in my living room, they sound like they've got subwoofers too.
What is it? I guess by the model number, is it 2.8s or is it 6.5s?
They are 2 5
5 1/4.
Wow.
They're
Okay.
tiny.
Super
When we
small.
say tiny, we mean tiny. No, they defy physics.
Yeah.
One of the best things I heard at the Audio Vice show were these. Couldn't believe it.
I'm not supposed to say that here, Don.
What?
You're just supposed to say at a show.
Oh shit! Sorry.
You're here promoting somebody else.
Whatever, dude.
We don't care. We're not like that.
They're good guys.
So
But the
anyway,
show that we must not name, I was able to listen to the Elac and Toronto floor standing speakers.
but these are bi-wireable, bi-ampable. It's got something similar to what I would say is kind of like I know like Kev has their meta where it absorbs the back waves from the tweeter, and I think Focal has something similar to that in B&W where it kind of tapers off. But this one actually has an opening behind the tweeter, so the back wave actually shoots out the back of the speaker. So which I would assume is supposed to give it some extra clarity. So that was interesting. And like I said, it's got the folded
Resonance from
motion
the
tweeter.
I mean, the Sopra is similar to that. They have an infinite baffle in the Sopra line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right at the back, it's got the grill in the back. Yeah,
Yep.
so same concept. And man, these got the I think they play up to like 40,000 hertz or kilohertz. So super crispy, super airy. They are a little on the brighter side, but when I was comparing it to the Per-Listens, but yeah, it's a fun speaker. I'm not gonna say I enjoy this more than the Per-Listens that I have, but I've been listening to this a lot.
Yeah, you sent me that pic. It was pretty cool. We had them sit next to the Per-Listen.
Yeah, frequency range 30 hertz to 50,000 K. So in-room response will go a little bit lower. What's up, Easy HT Tech? What's up, my man? So you guys do carry Elac then, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yep.
Home theater at B&O. If
Good
you
stuff.
must.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Be on the lookout for that review. Hopefully, I'll get it out like next week or so.
What's
and then
that?
they're gonna send me their subwoofers too, which is gonna be interesting. What else? You guys got anything? Other interesting things going on over there?
One of your Patreons was asking about a whole theater with B&O. I wouldn't recommend it, but I did hear their big $90,000 speakers, and they were loud. They were cranking them. They were pretty cool.
Do they have a home theater system, or I thought they just did 2-channel?
They have a sound bar that's.
I use them like any other speaker.
One thing that I remember now, I don't know how I forgot, but the new Arena series from Sonus Faber, their in-wall subs and in-wall speakers, they were pissing tons of people off in that show.
Really?
It was like they were doing like kind of like a demo of their Macintosh.
Filled the whole.
Yes. And they were playing, what's that Skrillex song?
From the Greatest Showman?
A Skrillex song?
Skrillex is on Greatest Showman?
Oh, no, I don't know.
No, it was...
they were playing that, too.
Anyways, it was like every 10 minutes you heard just the whole showroom spill out into this Skrillex song for like a minute. And it was their in-wall speakers and in-wall subs, and you could hear that from end to end. It was ridiculous.
Did you guys see the Macintosh subwoofer? The amp built into it? That thing was super cool looking.
Yeah.
Was that even hooked up?
No, they just had it on display. But
it's like a Macintosh amp with the blue lights in the bottom, and it's like 6 foot tall. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Are you guys are carrying that, right? Or going to be, possibly?
Yeah, we're gonna officially announce it probably at the end of the year. They're building a new showroom. I guess they're just finishing it. That's going to be pretty impressive, and it's going to be part of our Dream Media Plus program for select customers only. But yes, we are gonna.
That thing's cool, man.
Yeah, I think so.
Zach, you need one of those in your house.
You do. I need 2 of those.
Man,
Zach, make it happen.
Wake up, little man.
The problem is just time. There's no time left. Need more time.
I think it's like 450 pounds, he said. pounds.
It's massive, dude.
One thing I'm excited about with this big project, Don, is the Josh AI. Did you go in and listen to their whole spiel on all their latest and greatest offerings? They're going from voice control to pretty much a full-blown automation control company that like allows the customer to quickly automate their home after the integrator's done setting it up, like super simple and talking to it in layman terms. I'm very excited to play with that.
Yeah, I mean, so cool thing about Josh is like at our Haven Smart demo home, you can go to, I went into one of the guest bedrooms and I said, hey, Josh, turn on the TV, turn it to Netflix, to Stranger Things, lower the shades, and dim the lights to 50%. Okay. Did everything.
Yeah.
Dropped the screen, lowered the shades, turn on the projector, turn on the right input, do a Roku too on that, and then it dimmed the lights. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's just not, you can't do anything. It learns, hence the AI. Now it has GPT put into it, but it learns your voice pattern and how you operate. So you can't do that with Alexa. You can do certain things with Alexas and so forth, but you can't just give it a string of commands and walk into a room and not be specific, which is about what room you're in, because all the speakers are mounted in the wall. It's a cool product. It's the next evolution.
It'll know what room you're in. So if you just tell it to start playing music, play Michael Jackson, like it knows to play music in the room that command came from. And then since it has the Chat GPT, you can be like, you know, who sings? Well, obviously, if you're playing Michael Jackson, you know, but you could be like, you know, who sings this song? Can I have some more information? And then it pulls Chat GPT, will tell you more of like how the band got started and all that stuff if you want to know it and hear it. But you can just like walk into a room and be like, I'm cold, and it knows to like turn the heat on.
So well, once you label the Josh AI for that room. But I also like how the AI, it keeps history of every single thing that you've done with the system and all AI interactions. So like as the integrator, we can go back and look at that data.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're always sending me emails. Like I have no idea what it's about, but it looks cool. Super chat here. I would be curious ever would be interested in testing Ascend acoustic speakers. They one of few brands that use Clipple to optimize and tune their speakers.
Versus an anechoic chamber. I mean, that doesn't really impress me at all.
Have anybody heard Ascend acoustics before?
Is he Ascendo?
No, is there Ascend?
No, it's Ascend. It's kind of built for the CI space.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're.
I've never heard of them. Who said that?
There's so many good brands.
State-of-the-art true endgame speakers. They don't look terribly expensive. It's got a real AMT tweeter. Thank you for the super chat. I've never personally heard this, but they look interesting, for sure. But I guess they are a CI brand, from what Don says.
No, I was thinking of a different speaker company.
Oh, okay, maybe not. I don't know. I'll have to look into it more. Who knows? Maybe I'll send him an email or something like that. But again, thanks for the super chat. So we're coming up at an hour. What videos you guys got coming up? Anything good?
Oh man, we got a whole list. I was super impressed with Samsung's televisions and their modular TV display. Anybody who's interested in doing a massive modular display, please call us. I will personally come put it in. I'm like really excited to put in a micro LED system.
Yeah, well, you better have good air conditioning and a lot of power.
Yes. But their new modular system apparently goes in like real quick, and I really want to physically do it myself.
And LG does one as a kit where it has the frame, all the parts and pieces, and it has a input box on it. But I think the Samsung might be better.
Well, the LG, you can really see the panels, you can't see it on the Samsung. It looks pretty legit. And then they have that 110-inch micro LED that's all just one panel, which was super impressive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Samsung had a killer booth at Infocom.
Their micro LED, the wall TV, the modular wall. I mean, that looked really good from Samsung. And then Barco's LED, I went by to see Chris Deutsch, a good buddy of ours. Barco's LED wall was really impressive, and I guess from the pricing of it, it's very competitive. And I mean, it's still outrageous, but it's for me, but it's like in line or a little less than some of the big players. But it's like a really nice cinematic look to it. It didn't look like super bright, like
Yeah, it was
blistering.
beautiful. It was beautiful.
It just looked really natural. Colors
Those micro LEDs are the future. Those large scale LEDs. It's just a matter of time.
The cost is still just so high. Are you guys doing a lot of them, Dunn?
We've done a couple, and I've been involved with a couple installations that we didn't do the install of it, but we were a part of it, hooking up to it. They're massive, and there's a lot that goes into it. But man, I'm telling you, it's the
These
future.
Samsung ones aren't that. I mean, it's all relative, but they're not that expensive. So
yeah. I mean, it's not crazy, but they're. I mean, 100-inch TVs used to be $100,000, and now you got a $5,000 LED that probably outperforms any of the other ones that came before it. So I mean, it's just a matter of time until these come down. They just need to do more production. I mean, the vast majority of it is used in commercial applications.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, I had asked them before, what is the resolution per like panel, per tile? They didn't seem to know the answer to that. Like, what size would you have to be to hit 4K? Like, is it like 100-inch? Is it 200?
146
to be 4K?
Yep.
So if you go beyond that, how does that scale up?
Right count too.
That's where it starts to get interesting. That's what we have to work with them to figure out. You know, are you doing 16:9? Are you going to do a 5K native 5K display that is 235? Barco, I think, is working on a tool for that.
Right.
But Samsung, I mean, it's all going to be pretty much the same thing. It's just you have to do the 146 to get a native 4K with Samsung right now, or their 98-inch TV or whatever it is.
110.
No, the 110 is only 2K.
Oh, was it?
Oh.
Yeah.
That kind of sucks. Only 1080p.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys want a LED wall, Dream Media, AV.com.
Yeah, we're trying to get into it. I'd love to have somebody who had the budget for it. It's really expensive, we know, but it's cool.
And if you do, Zach, RBH makes a custom soundbar that'll work on a micro LED.
Yeah, we got a bunch of RBH videos coming out for you guys. I mean, these guys are awesome. I really fell in love with the brand whenever I visited their showroom in Utah. Me and Kellen did, and got to know them a little better. Great guys building speakers here in America, which is pretty rare these days. And they got those AMT tweeters that scream.
Yeah, they're a fantastic speaker company. I mean, if you were looking at that Ascend, you should look at RBH. They just redid their website, like a pair of 6500s for looking for towers, or 8300, similar to what Kellen has, passive or active. Or they can do anything passive or active, which is great. Highly recommend active if you can swing it.
Yeah, I was impressed. I mean, other than one more 21-inch subwoofer at the rear of the room, their theater sounded amazing.
Did you get to hear? So you heard the 21-inch?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We watched them. We documented them building it. The whole
really?
process.
Awesome. I forgot who was going to, but I helped put in the 21-inch woofer for.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Hey Shane, when I'll have them send you mine, and you can review it before you send it to me.
What's that?
It hits hard.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Shane to send it to me. I'm just like, what's going on? I think October, he said, maybe. So this is it right here. Well, let me bring it up. Well, that's Kellen. Oh. 10 G's.
Thing's a backbreaker.
Don, can you have them change the name of that to the 21?
To what?
21.
The what? 21?
RPH sound the 21, and just leave it at that.
The 21.
Want to get 2 of the 21s or 3 of the 21?
4.
We have spec'd into that project on 4.
I know.
That's gonna
really,
and it's not just a 21. All subs are not created equal, and they put a ton of research into this. Not a do-it-yourself, not a hodgepodge of parts they just bought. They actually worked with a manufacturer to customize and build that driver, which has some unique magnet structures in it. It's as good as any driver made. Great bracing on the cabinet. They've got some patent pending technologies they put into it. It's a phenomenal sub, and it'll hold its own with just about anything out there. It's really great product. And I did hurt my back putting that one in Gene's house. It was very heavy. Of course, Gene put sand in it too.
Yeah, so they're gonna ship them not loaded, but they have these little puts on the back. You pop them out, and then you load them down.
Yeah, like it's not heavy enough, but they're just obsessive with their sound. They really are.
Well, that's what I love, is just how passionate they are. I mean, Shane Rich, like, he just will not stop. Like,
no, he never stops.
He will not stop till it is.
He comes over and stays at my house, and like 2 a.m, still tweaking with my system. I'm like, dude, go to bed. Cool.
Yeah, he's the man.
He is awesome.
That's pretty sick. What speakers you got, Kellen? You got the same one Gene's got?
No, I have active 8300. They're on our site.
They're like 50 some inches tall, 3/8, 2 6.5s, and a AMT tweeter in a Diapolito configuration.
Okay.
Those AMTs, man, I think that's my speaker. If I'm going to do a high-end theater, hopefully
man. I mean, they have horn-like output, but dome-like performance and sound.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, I heard the one at Teo's house, I've had a review done for about 2.5 months now.
If you click on that,
2 months. Yeah.
I've got to get some better photos, but if you click on that like lifestyle looking photo, that's one I took of them in my room. Yeah.
This one? Oh, that's your house?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool.
Kellen's got a pimp house.
Yeah, Kellen's got it all.
So does Zach.
Well,
Kellen's got it all.
The video,
but he's not shredding an R, bro.
That's right.
The video with you visiting the house will be out coming soon, I think.
Zach's like, see that mountain, 13,000 feet? Twice a week, I ride my bike to the top of it. I'm like, ooh, can I go with you? He's like, it's gnarly. I'm like, all right. Yeah.
That's right.
And Kellen's out pickleballing in his backyard. Y'all got it going on.
He's got the wet sound system going on back there. If you guys are looking for a crazy, like, high output venue style, I mean, literally they call it the venue series. Wet Sounds is amazing. It's unfortunate that when you came by, Don, they were having that issue. I mean, typically those things sound good.
I heard Kellen's.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, they sound great.
It sounded better in person?
Oh, it sounded great.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to have the yard.
They didn't sound good at the show.
At all about the neighbors.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. They were having some.
Yeah, but I think that was the source that they were playing.
Yeah, but you got to have the yard for it.
All kinds of good, cool audio.
So many cool brands. So many cool things.
See, if it was my stream, we'd be talking about lighting control and
Well, listen, we don't
all kinds of automation.
Sleep, okay?
Yeah. Well, you get a house one day, then we can put lighting control in that, and then you'll see how awesome it is.
Well, I'm just gonna have my Ava remote control everything, so I'm not gonna need you.
Yeah,
that's one of those things that I'm excited to get back into. Don, with the whole Dream Media Plus program, is like every one of my homes, lighting, shades, automated shades are like a must-have immediate before we even move in, and that's just something we haven't been getting into here at Dream Media. So it's going to be fun to cater to this high-end market and do the full scope, because automation was one of my passions whenever I first got into this business a decade ago.
Well, I mean, you shades, lighting, controls, locks, security, surveillance, all these things that really add to your lifestyle in your home, make it comfortable and safe. It's just really cool to have, along with the good audio, video, controlling that. And, and integrated cool.
The whole experience, it's all important.
Oh, did you see that there's a new update for JVC?
Yes, I made a video on that.
Did you?
November it'll be releasing. It looked really good.
November, jeez.
How close is that? I was making my bed up and I made a video on that.
Well, I got to let everybody know who bought JVCs from us that they get another upgrade for free. I mean, come on now.
What exactly does it do?
It's a new algorithm for HDR tone mapping, and then you will have control over the laser output. So you can, it'll be on a slider instead of just medium, high.
Oh, like Sony.
So that'll be cool because, you might be able to get it up to 80 before you hear those high fans kicking.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be something interesting.
Oh, and they have a price reduction right now, which is awesome. The NX7, right, Kellen?
NZ7.
NZ7, the RS2100 went from 11,000 down to 9,000 MSRP for the next month or two.
Yeah. So is that where is it at? NZ7? Is that on your site?
Sorry, yeah, it's the RS2100.
Yeah.
Oh.
They have the pro side and the consumer side.
$9,000, look at that.
Yeah, nine grand right now. That's a heck of a deal.
Yeah, I think when I had it was like 10 or something.
Yeah, it started out at $99.95.
Yeah.
And went up 1,000, and then it just dropped 2,000.
Interesting. Wonder why that is.
Just trying to stay competitive. I mean, just like their firmware updates, they're just staying one step ahead of the competition.
How much does this firmware update bring it to, say, MadVR status?
I mean,
it's a different animal. I mean, MadVR doesn't only.
Now.
Sorry, Kellen, go ahead.
I was gonna say probably as close as it is now. I mean, I don't really know. It was hard to tell unless you had them both side by side with the old algorithm. The one thing that I'm most excited about is being able to juice up the laser as needed.
Yeah.
Control it from 0 to 100. Have that type of manipulation. Obviously, the frame adapt stuff doesn't apply to people that have the MadVR, but I'd say it's going to be as good as it is now compared to MadVR. So what did you say? You think it was like 20, 25% better?
Yeah, there was just some things that I think you can like tweak the gamma on the MadVR, which you can't do on JVC. So it's like sometimes
that's out of the box. If you get somebody calibrating it with a 3D LUT, and I mean, that's another step as well. So
yeah, that's the only thing I was kind of missing from the stock algorithm on the JVC. Like sometimes I would put on the filter and it would just dim it down a little too much. Whereas if I kept it on with the MadVR, I could still kind of boost up the shadows a little bit where it was still kind of bright, where it almost looked like I didn't have the filter in place.
Yeah. So I'd say in terms of how competitive is it?
Little man, what's up?
Close to what it is
what's
now.
Up, bump?
But I think having that extra manipulation of the laser is going to be awesome.
Yeah, I hope so. I noticed that when I was watching Barbie the other night.
Barbie World.
I was like, oh my God, this is so bright and punchy. It's like, that's so weird. And I was like, wait a minute. I can hear my fan.
Yeah.
So then usually I keep it on medium, and it was like, damn, man, it's kind of dim now. So I would like to definitely tweak that up to like, whatever, 67 or something like that. So that'd be cool. But we are coming in at just a little over an hour. Guys, I think we're going to call it a day here. I know Kellen's got to go bounce. And looks like Zach's got some kid duties to attend to.
Parents of young children.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, people might hate on this setup, But I'll say
Who's that
for
behind
the
you? Who's that behind you? Who's that?
It's Brooke.
What's up, Brooke? What's up, Mama?
How are you?
There's the real leader
We're
of
on
Dream
the
Media
internet
right there.
just so you know.
Oh, you are. Okay.
Thousands of people are watching you.
Yeah, this setup's so legit for kids. I mean, we got the ball pit, the ultra short throw. It's great.
It's a great room. That's a
Yeah.
great.
But all right, guys. So make sure you guys go visit dreammediaav.com for all of your AV home theater needs. Also, 2Channel as well, and go subscribe to their YouTube channel. Dunn, thanks for joining us again on Thursday. We do this usually every Thursday, usually either here or on Patreon. So thanks for hanging out with us today.